Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode with iTrack. Big shout out to all the iTrack fan, man, and everybody tapping in, man. Looks like things are definitely not cooling down in the Middle East. Technology has hit an all-time high, and it appears in the background tons of jobs are being lost. So let's take a look at it all. But before we do any of that, go ahead and smash that like button for me, hit the hype button, and go ahead and subscribe, man. Join the iTrack fan, man. Stay up to date with the latest and the greatest. Let's go ahead and get right into it.
Right now, you're saying Iran does not want a ceasefire.
We are not asking for a ceasefire. And we don't see any reason why we should negotiate with the US when we negotiated with them twice, and every time they attacked us at the middle of negotiations. So there is no request for a ceasefire by us, and there is no request for the negotiation with the US from us. We have never sent any messages to them.
Hey, prayers definitely have to go out to all the innocent souls that are caught in the middle of all that.
Musk has declared he needs to secure the future of civilization and will now shift his focus from inhabiting Mars to instead building a self-growing city on the moon. And he says it can be done in less than 10 years. It marks one giant pivot for the billionaire. As recently as last year, he had planned to send an uncrewed mission to Mars by the end of 2026, a first step for a full Mars operation. But on Sunday US time, Musk tweeted SpaceX has already shifted focus to building a self-growing city on the moon, as we can potentially achieve that in less than 10 years, whereas Mars would take 20 years. And SpaceX will also strive to build a Mars city and begin doing so in about 5 to 7 years. But the overriding priority is securing the future of civilization, and the moon is faster. So what's behind the change? One reason could be competition. The US, which hasn't sent an astronaut to the moon's surface since 1972, is now in a race against China and Russia, with all three seeking to put a nuclear reactor on the moon to sustain human settlements. SpaceX is already involved in NASA's Artemis program to return humans to visit the moon. It has already seen several delays and problems, but Elon Musk is renowned for a moonshot.
I also think that Elon sees exactly what's going on between all these countries and these nuclear weapons, and he understands it's just a matter of time.
US troops were told the war in Iran is biblically sanctioned and part of a divine plan, and that is why they must fight in it.
Everyone will have access to medical care that is better than what the president receives right now.
So don't go to medical school.
Yes, pointless. I mean, unless you... But I would say that applies to any form of education. You're not going to medical school.
Younger generation says, I do not want that human touching me, right? When the surgeon comes over. There are going to be those people later in life who still want a human in the loop.
Sure. I mean, let's just take... Like, we've seen some advanced cases of automation, like LASIK, for example, where the robot just lasers your eyeball. Now, do you want an ophthalmologist with a hand laser?
No.
Out of the simulator or whatever, the supreme being or beings reveal themselves through the physics. You know, they're creators of this existence. And it's incumbent upon us to try to understand more about this wondrous creation.
Who created this thing? Who's running this thing? Like, embodying it into a singular question with a sexy word on top of it is like focusing the mind to understand. It does seem like there's again, it could be an illusion. It seems like there's a purpose, that there's an underlying master plan of some kind.
There may not be a master plan. Maybe an interesting answer to the question of determinism versus free will is that if we are in a simulation, the reason that these higher beings would hold a simulation is to see what happens. They don't know what happens. Otherwise, they wouldn't hold the simulation. When humans create a simulation, so at SpaceX and Tesla, we create simulations all the time, especially for the rocket. You know, you have to run a lot of simulations to understand what's going to happen, because you can't really test the rocket until it goes to space, and you want it to work. So you have to simulate subsonic, transonic, supersonic, hypersonic ascent, and then coming back, super high heating, total dynamics. All this is going to be simulated. If we knew what happens, we wouldn't run the simulation. So whoever created this existence, they're running it because they don't know what's going to happen, not because they do.
The more I hear people talk about this existence being a simulation, it almost kind of seems like they're just overcomplicating life, you know?
Whole Facebook movie is a giant lie. It's a propaganda piece. That was a Pentagon program called LifeLog. LifeLog is a Pentagon program that wants to collect all your data for your whole life. What day did the government stop the LifeLog project?
Whoa. DARPA shut down the LifeLog project February 4th, 2004.
What day was Facebook registered as a business?
Oh my God. No way, bro.
The exact same day. They don't even hide it, dude.
It was created by DARPA.
Yeah. They handed it to Mark Zuckerberg. And then the Vossel twins.
What about the other? Yeah.
That's all. And that's why they became the first Bitcoin millionaires, because they play ball. It's all theater, dude.
So what is the purpose of LifeLog?
To collect all your data for your whole entire life. All these billionaires say they started in a garage.
Yeah.
And then the garage is just all Freemason, satanic symbolism in the garage. Amazon was created in DARPA. They gave it to the guy. They're like, okay, you're the guy. They start with books. They work out the kinks with books. And once that gets to the point where it's like fully functional, now they put it out to everywhere. So they gave it to him.
I have inside information on Jeffrey Epstein and why the U.S. government is reluctant to be more transparent. And I know this because when I was working in government, meetings were not how shall we tell the public, but what shall we tell the public. So often the best we can get in our skepticism is to know that we are not being told the truth.
I think people need to know the truth.
So put on your seatbelt. I'm going to tell you everything. And all senior people in the U.S. government know everything that you and I have discussed here today.
So you've been behind the scenes with some of the most successful, richest, most powerful people on planet Earth, but what is it you do, Gavin?
So I do protective coverage, any of the ways that wealthy or prominent people might be targeted. For example, the Saudi Arabian government obtained a system which can get into your phone, used it on Jeff Bezos. So our work was to figure out how it happened.
Why would a government want to hack the founder of Amazon's phone?
So I'll tell you in a second, but we're all not as careful as we could be in terms of what we say, what we text, and there is absolutely no protection viable for the confidentiality of your phone. Do you have any skepticism about that?
I just have a lot of ignorance to how this whole world works.
Lucky you. But all power centers in human history lie. There are some examples of this where it will start telling the truth about something, but years later. Things like cancer causing asbestos in baby powder, 100,000 people dying from heart attacks from opioids, and we'll see it with mass vaccination.
Yes.
It's going to cause the biggest financial crash in history.
AI.
Yeah.
AI.
Mark my words. The reason is because AI cannot measure insanity. So when there's a panic, AI is going to kick in and they're going to sell. So that's what happened 2 years ago. Silicon Valley Bank, the machines went off and it nearly destroyed the whole bank. So my prediction is that artificial intelligence is going to cause the biggest banking crash in history. We're about 3 or 4 months away from it right now.
What about at job positions, when it comes to job positions?
Already, I don't even know this, but unemployment's going through the roof. All technology workers, all the guys who thought their jobs were safe, Google, Amazon, Apple, Tesla, they're letting people go like crazy.
Now, looking at all the statistics and the data that's coming out about people that's losing their job right now, his prediction sounds more like a reality than a conspiracy.
So, Alfonso Jones, Michael Jackson. The Alfonso album came out 6 months before Thriller. Look at the similarities. What is going on here?
Alfonso seems like he was way before my time. If you know anything about Alfonso, tap in and let me know, because I found it hard to believe that Michael Jackson would copy anybody looking like or named Alfonso. I could be wrong. Let me know.
He spent more than a decade cutting down trees for a living and says he's seen just about everything that can turn up on a property. That's why this find stopped him in his tracks.
Very curious, and we're very interested. So how old is that thing?
While taking a break with his crew, Tim starts filming an old tree at the back of the property.
So check this out. That tree is clearly 300 years old, probably 200.
As the camera moves closer to the trunk, something immediately stands out.
What is this?
Embedded deep inside the tree is a stone.
That ain't natural.
The stone appears flat and deliberate. It has straight edges, faint markings, and features that don't look natural at all.
I mean, it actually looks like the tip of a pyramid to me.
Exactly do we experience after death? In Between Life and Death, Dolores Cannon cites her thousands of past life regression sessions that describe death not as an end, but as a transition into a different state of existence focused on learning and evolution. Cannon also describes how, after one dies, they usually see how, quote, fake their earthly life was, often describing the whole thing as a play, where everyone seems to be just acting and playing roles, completely oblivious to how fake everything and everyone is until they die. According to her, death is a painless lifting of weight and a feeling of freedom. The personality remains intact, and the individual often looks down at their physical body with detachment or even amusement. A silver cord, which acts as a lifeline between the soul and the physical body, is severed at the moment of death. Many patients also often describe a white light or portal that sucks the soul up into the spirit realm. Upon crossing over, souls are often met by greeters, who are usually loved ones who have passed on previously, or spirit guides, whose role is to help the newly deceased orient themselves and realize they are no longer in the physical world. The spirit world itself is described as containing vast schools and libraries, and souls attend classes to learn about the universe, their own history, and to prepare for future incarnations. Michael Newton, PhD, in Journey of Souls, corroborates this, citing his sessions, which described how once a soul is ready to reincarnate, they enter a place of life selection, described as a, quote, ring of destiny or a screening room. Here, they view potential future lives on screens, seeing fragments of what might happen in different bodies. These souls undergo intense training in the spirit realm so as to set up the proper subconscious cues so they can be guided towards their soul mission and soul mates in their earthly incarnation. These souls then choose a body that offers the best opportunity for their specific learning goals. The return to Earth involves a rapid descent, likened to sliding down a tube. The soul joins with the fetus, melding its energy with the developing brain of the baby, often months before birth. Brian Weiss, in Many Lives, Many Masters, presents similar findings, also stating how highly evolved entities, referred to as, quote, the masters, communicate with souls in the spirit state, and that they provide wisdom regarding the purpose of life, which is to learn virtues such as charity, hope, faith, and love. Neurosurgeon Eben Alexander, in Proof of Heaven, also describes his near-death experience, where he described entering a realm that was, quote, ultra-real, and that it was so much more vivid and substantial than physical life on Earth. He describes the physical world as, quote, dreamlike in comparison to the clarity of the spirit realm.
First, it was the AI actress. Now, Coca-Cola has an AI commercial. What's next? Coca-Cola just made an AI holiday commercial, and let's talk about it. The Los Angeles studio that created it used only about 20 people. Normally, they would need 50 or more, so what does that mean for us? Is it over if advertisers start using AI to make their ads and slash the crew in half? Does that mean half the people are gonna lose their jobs? Now, they say they're gonna make up for it by doing more ads to keep the spending up, but let's just be real, some of those jobs are not coming back. And are we using AI for the music in the ad? Are those real voices or is it synthetic? Are any actors getting paid? Where are we headed? Who loses when the crew gets smaller? PAs, background actors, what about set dressers? Since there's no humans, I guess we don't need hair and makeup. What happens to camera and lighting? Do we need voice actors? If synthetic voices replace all the little lines, tell me what you think. As usual, follow me for more Hollywood insider tips.
Why do you think Paramount just bought Warner Brothers? You know, they don't need as many people, and it's pretty obvious.
Ice inside Neptune is hot, black, and may cause the planet to rain diamonds. Turns out ice has a bunch of alien forms, and now we're making that ice here on Earth. At its core, ice is just a bunch of water molecules held together by the hydrogen atoms. On Earth, that typically looks like this, neatly formed hexagons, but these hydrogen bonds are pretty sensitive to changes in pressure and temperature. So if you mess with those two things, you can get all kinds of cool alien ice. And scientists love to mess with things. In 2019, they used diamonds and lasers to put water molecules under extreme temperature and pressure. And that pressure compressed the oxygen atoms into a lattice, making a solid. And the extreme heat broke down the hydrogen bonds, causing them to zoom around. And all of that chaos stopped light from getting through, making the ice look super dark. And boom, Neptune's weird, hot, black ice here on Earth. But they didn't stop there. That was ice 18. As of 2025, they're up to ice 21. And every new form is teaching us a little bit more about the icy worlds away from home. And we have a plan to drill into one of those icy worlds. So if you want to learn more,
Hey, I hope he went and played the lottery right after that with all that luck.
Burger King has now entered the taste test chat.
Not bad, right?
Burger King's president, Tom Curtis, wanted to show what a proper bite of a burger looks like.
Only one thing missing. A napkin.
The video came after the McDonald's CEO, Chris Kędzimski, caught heat for a reaction video he posted trying a new menu item.
The big arch.
People flocked to the internet to call out the CEO for his taste test being a tad insincere.
This man does not eat McDonald's. He looks like he would try and read the ingredients on the back of a banana.
I love this product. It is so good.
He calls the burger the product.
And for lacking bang to his bite.
Moment of truth. Big bite for a big arch.
That's a big bite for the big arches.
In response, McDonald's posted to Instagram with this caption, "Can't believe this got approved."
You know the worst thing about all that? Even though he was eating the burger like he didn't like it, it still gave McDonald's tons of exposure, which made people go and eat it.
Where's the Garden of Eden?
Well, when you read the stories, right, the thing that strikes you is that it's so specific. Like, it says things in talking about the Garden of Eden that, wait a minute, if I can't find what you're talking about, this isn't even real. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like where the Garden of Eden was, there's, I think, 4 rivers that come from it. And then it names 2 of them. Like, I don't want to be specific because at least he's going to bring it up. But it's like the Nile and the Euphrates, right?
Right.
So you know 2 of them. And it's saying, you know, where the 4 meet, this is where it is. And, yeah, my whole life I was like, this is really weird, because at one period of time we're thinking no flood happens. There's so many things that have lined up from these great religious books to where we can see that, no, something happened here. Like,
something happened, and these are stories of people telling stories that have been told to them for about 1,000 years.
But this is why, right?
This right here might be the location of the Garden of Eden. I'm in Iraq right now, standing at the meeting point of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. And this right here shows that this might be where Adam and Eve once lived. I can't believe it. I honestly never imagined I would get to see this with my own eyes. It's incredible just picturing how lush and amazing it might have been like back in the day.
Definitely got to put that on the bucket list, man. I got to check that one out.
Okay, guys, major breaking news. This war has now officially entered Asia. We're unlocking new parts of this map every day, so 140 people are currently missing after a US submarine has sunk an Iranian Navy ship with a torpedo in international waters off the coast of Sri Lanka. Now, important detail, this is the first time that America has sunk an enemy ship using a torpedo since World War II. And if you guys are wondering where Sri Lanka is, here. This is the Indian Ocean. Everything that's usually been happening in kind of the war zone of 3,000 miles was about here. Now, we're entering this territory. Ain't no way. Now, this was confirmed by the U.S. Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, saying that America is winning decisively, devastatingly, and without mercy. 180 people were reportedly on this boat. Ship. It's not a boat. And so far, 32 people have been rescued, with 140 more currently missing. I think we kind of get the point of what's happened to them. I'll keep you guys updated as we know.
Every time an ad loads on your phone, the government might be watching. An internal DHS document obtained by 404 Media reveals Customs and Border Protection tapped into the online advertising system to track people's movements without a warrant. Here's how it works. Every app on your phone has an advertising ID. When an ad loads, companies bid in milliseconds to show you that ad. During that auction, surveillance firms quietly siphon your exact location. CBP bought that data and used it to build a map of where people go, where they sleep, and where they work. The program was supposed to target criminal activity, but the Inspector General found CBP, ICE, and the Secret Service all used it illegally. One CBP official even used it to track their own coworkers.
Yo, I've been bringing you all the latest information on how they are slowly and surely creeping in, invading every part of our privacy. Finding out your location really isn't that hard. So that piece of information is just like a cherry on top. They figured out how to find you a long time ago.
Look up what a kid means. That means baby goat.
Okay, so you know I'm big on words. Look up what kid means. Look up.
Okay.
Say, does kid mean baby goat? That's what they call it. You know they call him Billy the Kid.
Oh my goodness.
What's kid mean?
It
Baby
says.
That's what they call you. EWE.
That is what I'm trying to do
That's
too.
a
Is
female sheep.
Yeah, like the word thing. How you can.
Yeah, so offspring. So when we're handing down things for the future, it's your offspring, never a kid.
Yeah.
Never children.
So
I mean, you could use
offspring.
that's either your son or your daughter. You follow me? Because children means property of a corporation. So the government can control children, but the government can't control. The government can't control your son, or the government can control your daughter if that's how you're speaking in those terminologies. It's like when you say you're a parent. That's a parent who rents. You say you're the mother. That makes sense.
When he said the definition of kids, most people had no clue that's actually the definition. Now stick around to the end because there's even more information about how words are used.
AI can now do surgery on an egg without breaking it, removing the shell and keeping the membrane intact and sewing it together. And it begs the question, would you trust an AI robot to do a surgery more than a human being? What would you prefer?
I think once the stats come out and show that AI does a supremely better job at surgery than humans do, I think it'll be a no-brainer.
Hi, I'm Pete. I thought I'd come down to our kitchen here at Wendy's to try a Baconator today. Of course, we're starting with our Wendy's square patty, fresh, never frozen beef. Absolutely nothing better. Oh, of course, you gotta have a Frosty with a burger. Is this set up today? Oh, wait, our machines are always working. I've been waiting for this all day. Wendy's fresh, never frozen beef, our Applewood smoked bacon, our brand new bun, our square burger cooked on a flat grill. Amazing, absolutely wonderful. That's a burger. This is exactly the way a great hamburger should be.
Crazy things about Bob Ross is that he actually did each painting 3 times. 1 before the show for reference, 2 live during the show, and then he would do it a 3rd time for his instructional book.
This police robot from China can reach 35 kilometers per hour in just 2 seconds. Designed to neutralize high-risk threats, it's equipped with a net launcher and can withstand 4 tons of force. Early testing for this robot has begun in the city of Wenzhou.
We have a god who's half fish and half man, a god named Dagon. Dagon was a fish god. Here in the Jewish Encyclopedia, under the heading of Dagon, you will see a picture of the priest of Dagon, or the god himself, and he's wearing a fish head and the body of a fish down his back. So now we see the Pope's headdress. On the top is the Pope's mitre. But when turned, you then see he's actually wearing a fish head, the fish god Dagon, because he's representing the worship of an ancient Phoenician god. It's a fish symbol because it's denoting Dagon, the fish god. The significance is Dagon was a very important mystical god to the ancient peoples in the Middle East, in Babylonia, Sumeria, Phoenicia, Canaan. And that very powerful mystical god is still dominating the spirit and the intellectual thinking of religion even to today.
Rapper Sean Diddy Combs will be getting out of prison early amid his battle to appeal his 4-year sentence. Combs is currently locked up on prostitution-related charges, but will now walk free a month and a half earlier than his previous release date. The 56-year-old musician, who is currently serving a 50-month sentence at a correctional institution in New Jersey, earned the early release after being accepted into a drug abuse rehabilitation program in November. According to Federal Bureau of Prisons records obtained by Page 6, he will now be released on the 25th of April, 2028.
You know, come to think about it, the whole Diddy scandal was the beginning of all the distraction. They never really even got to the bottom of what all was going on with that. You know, you see what they did there?
How is this possible? Nature is wild.
What kind of lizard is that?
It's just a lizard.
What the f***?
Oh my Kevins, mate, you just found a bloody dragon!
Companies are trying to build artificial intelligence. The strangest thing that they've found, one of the strangest things, is that the systems that they design, this artificial intelligence, which a lot of people have heard about, is they design a bunch of systems, they're called neural nets. They put in some inputs, the computers work, spit out an answer. When you ask the person who designed the system, How did it come to that answer? How did your neural net, can you show me the calculations? They say, no, we don't know. We don't know how the thing we designed actually came up with that answer. That's pretty strange.
What's even stranger is back when Epstein did that interview, they didn't know. And even to this day, they don't know. And AI is getting way smarter.
Then I saw this man be on a stage with microphones in front of him. He was behind the pulpit and he was talking to a crowd. And it looked like he was appointed to be the leader over that nation. As he was talking, he was outside. From the right here, it was up high. I saw somebody take him out, and it went right through his chest and went through right through here, his collarbone area. Because he probably had a bulletproof vest on for what it looked like. But it went through his neck area and went through him and went out. He was done. As I watched this, I heard the people screaming. I could see it in the vision. I heard the people screaming. I heard them acting up, freaking out because of what they just witnessed. But they brought in another, after this man was taken over, I saw this man. After he was done, I saw a bad leader come in again. And that Lord I heard him say, I told you this would be a window, not a door. Not like Cuba, not like Mexico, not like Venezuela. I'll bring in leaders for those nations and great revival will come forth out of there, but there'll be a longer time frame. I saw Iran flip quickly back to bringing in some bozo like the Ayatollah again.
This is the Devil's Bible, the largest medieval manuscript in the world. It was supposedly created overnight by a monk who sold his soul to the devil to escape death. The Codex Gigas was created in an early 13th century monastery in Bohemia, and it consists of lots of different texts, including a Bible, a calendar, and a long confession of sin, spells, and magic formula. It is the largest preserved medieval manuscript in the world, standing at 36 inches tall, 9 inches in depth, and weighing a whopping 165 pounds. So how was it created in one night? According to one of the legends that shrouds the book, a monk named Herman had broken his religious vow and was condemned to death, tuned behind a wall, and left to die. His name appears in the locology section for the 10th of November, and by his name, inclusus, which means shut in, is written. In an attempt to alleviate his sins and his death sentence, Herman attempted to write the largest medieval manuscript in the world in one night. However, he realized that the task was far too great, and in desperation, he turned to the devil for aid. The devil demanded that Herman painted a large portrait of him in the book, and that the monk must give up his soul, which he did. While he did complete the book in one night, and his physical body was saved from death, his soul remained tormented. And the question is, would you sell your soul to the devil to be saved?
No, I'm not selling my soul, especially not to finish no book. If the book doesn't get finished, the book didn't get finished. Oh well.
There are numbers of people that have claimed that they see this hat man.
Yeah, it's a very common spirit. My wife and I were channel surfing, and it was an occult movie. And in that was an entity called the Hat Man, a 6 foot, 7 foot figure. When I saw the Hat Man on the TV, I felt a door open in our house, and the dog started barking. And I looked, and for a moment, when I began to turn, I caught it. Just like
that glance, yeah.
Yes, but then when I trained my eyes on it, I couldn't see it anymore. And I said, in the name of Jesus, I close this portal and command you to get out. And I felt it leave, and the dog stopped barking.
Now, he said he saw a hat man. I think he either needs to call 911 or go through his wife's phone.
Other countries are sending hot women to America to spy on nerds. This is a real thing. It's called Sexpionage, and the CIA has a whole page about it on their website. This is not a new phenomenon. During the Cold War, Germany had a whole program for this. They sent attractive agents to seduce workers in NATO, but now it's China doing this, and the target is Silicon Valley. They're not going after generals and politicians anymore. It's defense contractors and researchers. It's those engineers getting DMs DMs from attractive women on LinkedIn. China's intelligence service is now 300,000 people, which is the biggest in the world. And the number one thing they're going after is intellectual property. Your source code, chip design, proprietary algorithms. Human desire is still the cheapest way to get in.
Life, everything good? You know, it's so beautiful. It really is, especially when I'm absent from it.
Does the beard have anything to do with that?
If I ever shave my face again, you'll know. I had dinner with my friend Nick Cage. He said, "What's going on with you, man?" I went, "What do you mean?" And he went, "Your eyes are different."
Is that a gang sign? Have you,
Oh, like you don't know what it is. Comics and show business don't know. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati. You're a part of it.
This guy came up to me and he said, "Hey, you're Jim Carrey, aren't you?" He said, "You got a new movie coming out, I heard." And I said, "Yes, I do." And he said, "Well, enjoy it, because the world's gonna end in 2026.
In case he doesn't see you, good afternoon, good evening,
And good night.
I don't know what to think, Mark. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but it feels like the whole world revolves around me somehow. Everybody seems to be in on it.
I never expected people to eat the sculpture. I just thought it would be nice for them to see it. But then people just started licking it. And I was like, what are you doing? You don't know who's licked there before? Like, what are you doing? Like, nobody was afraid of that. It was weird. My name's Joseph Marr, and I'm an artist working with sugar in Berlin. I just love the look on people's faces when they understand it's sugar, because most people don't actually know. And then when they hear that it's sugar, they go, what? And then they look at it again. And I think that makes them feel more part of it when they know what it's made of. Working with sugar is a unique thing. It's incredibly difficult. Temperature and humidity affect it greatly. Once it's made, it's quite solid and lives for a long time. The oldest sculptures I have are now 14 years old and they're doing well. I like the challenge of making something that should be temporary, permanent.
Are you ready to risk it all for some art?
A company in China called Deep Robotics has invented a quadruped wheeled robot that can basically go over anything. Like, it is capable of going over walls, it's capable of going up and down steep hills without falling over, without tripping, breaking, without crashing or anything like that. Apparently they've got all different types of versions of their quadruped robots. They've got power and utility versions that are capable of going up and down staircases. They've got rescue versions that are capable of navigating obstacles. They're good in all weather. They can go into toxic, collapsed buildings in post-disaster areas without having any issues. They've also got some that are made for going into tunnels. And then also mining robots that are made for navigating complex environments like narrow spaces. And they've got construction ones. China's also revealed that they have little quadruped robotic dogs with miniguns on the top of them. So imagine the military applications for a robot that has a minigun on top of it and can get around anywhere on any terrain without falling down, and you can't get away from it.
China is officially living in 2056. They're done chasing specs or flexing megapixels. Now they're literally putting robots inside smartphones. This thing doesn't just record video, it transforms like a DJI pocket hiding inside your smartphone. This is an actual smartphone from Honor with a built-in gimbal. No party tricks, a physical moving gimbal. And this isn't a concept render or a prototype behind glass. It's a real phone launching in the second half of 2026. When you see robots dancing like this and then a phone that can twerk with it flawlessly, you realize something. One, it will be expensive, and two, we are not watching the future anymore. We are holding it.
Yeah, iPhone's gonna need to step it up. They're gonna need to do a lot more than the little squares like they got in the back. They're definitely gonna have to step it up a whole lot.
What if language is the cage? There's a linguistics theory called the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. It suggests that words you have shape the reality you can perceive. Some languages have dozens of words for snow. Some have none. Some cultures have no past tense. Some have no future tense. And their perception of time changes because of it. Now, zoom out. If you don't have a word for something, can you fully see it? Ancient traditions believed creation began with the word. Modern neuroscience shows inner dialogue affects emotion, stress, even physiology. So what if your limits aren't real? They're vocabulary limits. If you constantly say, I'm overwhelmed, I'm anxious, I'm stuck, your nervous system believes it, but change the language and you change the lens, not magically, neurologically. What if growth starts with updating the words you use to describe yourself?
A lot of people dismiss how powerful words are. You should take some time out and see for yourself. Speak positive things into your life. Stay vigilant and kind of see how things change even your mindset. Well, you guys, that's another one in the books, man. I appreciate you guys for always stopping by, watching and learning with me. If you haven't already, you already know you got to smash that like button for me. Hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that hype button. And I will definitely catch you on the next one.